You're watching the Amsterdam Film Show. We're going to talk about the new releases in the cinemas in the Netherlands this week. We're going to talk about one particular film with a local film journalist. We'll cover film events going on in Amsterdam and maybe even talk to Amsterdammers about what they thought about the films they've seen recently. Keep watching. Dracula Untold, the first feature from director Gary Shaw, tells the Dracula origins story, starring Luke Evans and Dominic Cooper. The 100-Foot Journey. The director of Chocolat brings us the story of the Cadam family who set up an Indian restaurant in rural France across the road from a Michelin-starred restaurant, much to the proprietor's horror. Hector and the Search for Happiness. Simon Pegg plays a psychiatrist who searches the globe to find the secret of happiness. Sentimental comedy drama. In Jouw Naam. A young couple's happy life is shattered when their newborn baby dies. A harrowing Dutch drama. Drift. A poetic exploration of a Belgian man losing his sanity as his partner dies from a lingering illness, set in the Carpathian Mountains. And finally, Locke, which is our featured movie of the week, so keep watching.
Okay, hi, I'm Jeremy Forster, local filmmaker, and I'm here this week to review Locke. It's a film with one special conceit. It's all about one man's journey. And it's all set in a car, so automatically you're brought into the film in a way, and your expectations are heightened through to this complete. You're focused only on one man, and it's Ivan Locke's journey from his very ordered and controlled life, and in the process of the film and the journey, it's the way that his life is starting to unravel, and everything that he thought about and knew about is totally falling apart, and he's not quite sure why he's doing this, but he just knows that he has to do this. So yeah, the film is basically one shot. The man's journey from Birmingham to London, and the director Stephen Knight has done a beautiful job of creating a dreamscape of this journey, and it's not a normal just road movie. They've really played with light, and the way they photographed the film and framed it gives you this otherworldly feeling of how he's travelling in this kind of bubble and away from his safe and secure and concrete world, because again, there's quite a big plot line with concrete, and he's left that behind and he's travelling to something uncertain. So the way they've photographed it has made it like a trip into the unknown with all these kind of ephemeral effects, and it really helps to bring out this feeling of he's gone from solidity to kind of airiness in a way. So this film stars Tom Hardy in the lead role, previously in Bronson and also in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. He's usually known for a much more muscular kind of action hero type film, but in this film it's very low key, and it provides a chance for him to really kind of concentrate and act. And I have to say, he gives a really excellent performance. He really pulls you in as a viewer into the situation that the character finds himself in, and without any kind of flashy emoting or this kind of stuff. So the whole film is a series of telephone conversations, and it's the performance of the actors around Tom Hardy that also make the film really interesting. And I was picturing in my head, because you're just given one image really of a man in a car, but I was picturing in my head all of the other actors and what was going on the other end of the telephone, and it really builds this whole suspenseful atmosphere and gives the film this really unique feeling. So overall, I did enjoy the film. It's more of a theatre play than a film, but it's filmed very cinematically. But in terms of the overall film itself, is it a success? I mean, I enjoy these various kind of types of things where you are forced to kind of really think about the way this has been staged. If you're a fan of action movies and things like that, you may be seeing Tom Hardy in before. Maybe this film isn't for you, but if you love character-driven films and finding about human nature, then this is definitely a film to go and see.
This This week on the Amsterdam Film Show, we hear from the organiser of Camera Japan.
What made you start this effort?
It's very simple. I like watching Japanese film. I've been fascinated for a long time. And one of the reasons also to start Camera Japan is you look around and I would like to see more Japanese films in the cinema. So that's one of the reasons we started. None of us had a background in organizing cultural events, so we started, made some mistakes, but we did get better over the years, improved the festival, I think, and that's where it is now, and I'm quite proud where it is now. It's again pretty much the same concept as it has been before. A wide overview of Japanese film, mostly modern Japanese film, also arts, visual arts, dance, music. But in Amsterdam we focus mostly on screening film. It's the second largest film industry in the world, after Hollywood and Bollywood, in reverse order actually. But somehow in Dutch cinemas there's hardly any Japanese films being screened, which I think is a shame because there's a lot of great movies being made. It's quite consistently a lot of good movies being made, and last year in particular was a bumper crop with over 500 productions, which I think is astonishing. And out of those 500 productions, we selected what we think is the best, or the best, which gives altogether a great overview of what Japanese cinema is about nowadays. One director who is actually not very productive is Fujita Yosuke. He made a couple of years ago Fine, Totally Fine, which won our Audience Award. Very deadpan humor, and he continues sort of the same path, a little more subtle, I think, a little more deadpan, with Fuku-chan or Fuku-Fuku Flats, which sounds as funny in Japanese as it does in English. This guy who's sort of has to, sort of the go-to guy for all his friends, but he doesn't know much about things himself, so just sort of pretends. What you see in a lot of Japanese cinema, it's a little bit about the losers or the underdog, but still they being perfectly happy with the life they are leading. And the interesting part is the main lead, who is portrayed as a man, is a woman. It's not revealed anywhere in the movie. The Apology King deals with something which is very universal, about honesty, being truthful. And more in particular in the Japanese culture is how to apologize. You can apologize by bending 45 degrees or 90 degrees, or prostrate yourself on the floor, depending on what you have to apologize for. And the movie is about that someone actually helps people it's like a consultant, but then on how to apologize. The apologizing to prostrate yourself on the floor, it's typical Japanese, but the need for apologize and the need to be truthful, to be sincere when apologizing, I think that's quite universal. And I think the story is not so deep or so culturally linked to Japan so strongly that it wouldn't be difficult to understand for people here. One of the things which I'm really pleasantly surprised about when I saw the movie was Unforgiven, which is the remake of Clint Eastwood's film. They kept the same title in English, but then they placed it in the northern island of Hokkaido in Japan. And I was a little bit skeptical when I first heard about the story, but I think when I watched it I was really impressed. I could sort of place the characters, the situations to where they were in the original. But then people dressed in kimono, there's certain things which are a little bit less obvious in the Unforgiven of Clint Eastwood. The bounty hunters, that is a little bit less strong, that aspect, but it's to do something for someone else, to stand up for the weak. I think that is in both films very strong. It's always hard to mention a favorite in the program, but I think Uzumasa Limelight will be my favorite, especially of the films we show in Amsterdam. It's a very unique part of cinema being highlighted. The extras, which I think hardly are being shown, even in Western cinema. This is about the main actor actually is an extra in a lot of Japanese films. I think by now he has been cut down 50,000 times in a whole range of samurai films and series. And this time he's getting older and he has to deal with what to do with the rest of his life. It's a relatively universal story. You're getting older, you cannot do exactly what you want to do, what you used to be doing, what you like to do, and you have to reconfigure yourself. It's always the idea that something is happening beyond just a film screening. So you should have an idea that actually a festival is going on. And when you say Japan, a lot of, besides certain car brands, most people have associations with food. So that's what we have at the festival as well. It's quite important to offer more than just films. You should give people a reason to come to your festival, not wait until the DVD comes out. The midnight screenings, we always have special kind of films. At midnight screenings, I think people don't want to watch a nice stylistic drama playing on the Japanese countryside. People want crazy stuff. Can be a little bit violent, can be a little bit inappropriate humor as well. Well, I think the movies we have, Josh is the women dressed in funny suits battling rubber monsters to save the world. I think that's a good example of what people can expect. I think it's diversity. I think there's something for, I dare to say, for everyone.
Camera Japan is in Amsterdam from the 6th to the 12th of October. For more information, see camerajapan.nl. And lastly, a word from Amsterdammers at the movies.
We went to Boyhood.
Boyhood!
I think the concept is very interesting, filming actors in 12 years, so you see actually the actors growing. But to be honest, the film also felt like it took 12 years, so it was too long.
And Marcia?
I loved it. It was a really good, lovely movie. You're not right. No, I love the main actor. It was so interesting to see him grow up and to see all these stages in life. So I really enjoyed it.